Hi, it's Sue Parker. Today we're talking all about how to build visibility and a following on social media specifically for your business. I feel like visibility is this thing that we know we all need to do, but it's a little bit cringeworthy, isn't it? I have definitely delayed starting the social media visibility challenge because of thinking, what will people think? And then you get into the comparison stage and you start to compare your post to somebody's perfect life, perfectly filtered video and perfectly prepared photograph. And then you realize that you've just got to get going because we can do so much offline, and there is so much we can do offline. I do talk about this in another episode, but I've been researching for a long time now. Gary Vee, I did a whole bunch of social experiments over the last year when we looked at LinkedIn, and I used to do a lot of LinkedIn posts, and it was really interesting to see how on that platform, it doesn't take long before people recognize you as an expert in a particular field when you stop posting random stuff. So I'm going to talk about how we can start building a social media following so that you can build visibility for your business to spread your message and your visibility. But also I'm going to talk about adopting the habits. We're going to talk about which platforms to use, when to post, what kind of things to post, and I'm going to introduce you to my 30-day free content plan that we've done so that we can launch the Let's Get Visible Social Media Summer Challenge. So first of all, I'm going to talk about, moving away from the comparison, the thing that's shooting us down, that's killing us. If you're doing that, you've got to stop. Just stop even looking at them if that helps. But adopting these really good habits will help you to sort of remember that everybody starts with 0 followers and everybody has to start somewhere. But the trick is to keep going even when you feel like giving up. And this is definitely where I've been with Facebook. I found Facebook incredibly draining on my time, and I find the algorithm just doesn't show it to my followers anyway. So what's even the point? And I like to see a quick return on investment. But we've got to know that we're in this for the long term. I've learned some habits when I've been researching this with Amelia Sordell, who is an expert on personal branding, and just by looking at what other influencers are doing. So key habits you have got to adopt is that consistency. Showing up regular, not necessarily every day or every 5 minutes, but showing up consistently, regularly. The second one is your authentic voice. Here's what I used to do when I used to post on LinkedIn. I'd use my professional voice that I used in my emails, my corporate voice, to post on LinkedIn. And quelle surprise, nobody really engaged in a conversation with me. Amelia Sordell gave us this fantastic advice, and you can check out the podcast episode with Amelia, where she talks us through how you just need to write how you speak and think of it as a human to human. We're starting a conversation. We're not starting a really professional email exchange here. Avoid randomness. This is one that Brendon Burchard always used to say. I look at people in my masterminds profiles, and he would have looked at mine and thought the same. And what they posted about was just so random. I didn't even know what they were an expert in. So having your core content pillars will really help you here. We talk a lot about making sure you have got 3 to 4 content pillars that you want to be known for, that your expertise is in, that you're going to become the influencer for. So by having that, you can always check, is this idea worth posting? Does it resonate with my content pillars? Is it creating connection with my audience in a bit of personal note? Or is it actually just completely off the wall and creating randomness? Certainly in the beginning, you've really got to niche down, haven't you? If you're talking to everybody, you're not talking to anybody, and we know this. We probably heard this 1,000 times. So here's the sort of questions I had about social media when I got started. It was like, which sites are best to be on now? And I don't mean like 10 years ago when that influencer that built an amazing Facebook group got famous. I don't mean when Brendon Burchard did it like 15 years ago or something like that, or when Tony Robbins was about doing infomercials. What's working right now? Which sites are the best sites right now for my audience? And do I need to be on all of them? Because here's the thing, we all create an account in Facebook, an account in Twitter, an account, you get it. We all create all of them, and then we burden ourselves with having to publish on them. I started using this thing called Hootsuite so that I could schedule content, the same content to all of these platforms. What is the point? They should complement in different ways. And I learned the hard way. You've got to focus on one first. Get one really right. There are enough of your audience on one platform for you to be able to focus on it. How often should you post? And what should you even post about, which is where we're going to come to the challenge. So what should I post? I have got a Let's Get Visible challenge sheet that you can download. It's a 30-day content plan. You can just steal them. Basically, they're really easy. Today is actually a motivational quote that you can share. So I'm sharing them as well on social media. If you follow me, I am Sue Parker on Instagram or on TikTok right now. You'll notice every day I post my post, so my social share, and I ask you to do the same. If you're part of the challenge, you can just be part of the challenge by just following the hashtag Let's Get Visible. And we're doing this together. It's about taking away that, oh, what do I post? I'm giving it you for 30 days and we're going to do this together. It's all been built by looking at what influencers are posting now and what kind of things are working to build connection, motivation, and to educate our audience, which is basically the 3 things we've really got to do as we start building it. So you can grab that. There's a link underneath this podcast, or you can head over to sueparker.io/resources, and it's like one of the top links there that will really help you to get started with the what shall I post. Okay, which social media platforms should I use? I'm a big follower, for obvious reasons, of Gary Vaynerchuk. So he's a super expert when it comes to online marketing, when it comes to communications, building a brand. And he talks a lot about what's working, what's growing, and he's always thinking forward. And I don't know about you, but I kind of don't want to build up loads of social media collateral and following on a platform that's going to be deserted, or on a place that's it's changing and evolving in a direction I don't want to go with. Now, the objective of any of this social media following building is to get them on your email list. That's where you really want them. Then they're on your territory. You own the list. You don't own the social media. But it's like the amuse-bouche, as he says. It's like the introduction, the flavour of what you do. And we get unstuck because when we're thinking about what to post, we're thinking, hey, I've got to give everything away in this one post, when the reality is it's just a snippet, just enough for them to say, I want to know more, and I'm going to keep coming back and following you, and then I might even subscribe and get to the depths of you when I'm ready. So which platforms are really working right now? So 2 platforms are performing really well. LinkedIn and TikTok are performing really well for creators like us because there are more consumers of the data on those platforms than creators. Really? More consumers than creators. Yeah, I got some stats on this. So LinkedIn, active monthly users is 310 monthly active users, 690 million users in total, but they don't all go on all the time. And only 3 million of those are actually sharing any content. So no wonder I only had to put about 10 posts out on LinkedIn, on articles or whatever it was, and all of a sudden I was known as being the woman who does women's empowerment, the woman who talks all about equality and diversity in the corporate sector and leadership coaching for women. So I got known for that niche simply because of a handful of posts, because there's just not enough people posting out there. Now you think there is, because when you go on there, you can kind of see all this content, but the reality is it's only 3 million people on there actually posting. Sounds a lot when I say it like that, but compared to the users, so not. You can get massive exposure. TikTok is huge. Gary V will, I would quote Gary V in a second, but rapid growth, like 142% growth year on year. If that keeps going, TikTok will reach the situation that Facebook is in, and more educational content is going on there. That yes, there's comedy, yes, there's dance routines, yes, there's makeup sessions and all that kind of stuff. There is so much stuff about manifesting your dream life, about creating financial freedom, about your psychology. There is a great doctor who shares all these psychology tips that I'm finding incredibly interesting and engrossing, but if anything, a distraction. And fantastic stuff on how to really grow on social media. So TikTok is a really fantastic place to go. Gary V, what did he say? He said there is an enormous amount of people watching right now and not many people putting stuff on there. So it's similar to LinkedIn. There are only 2 platforms you get that sort of dynamic. Other ones that grow really well and probably for my demographic, for women like me, if you're like me, you're probably all over Instagram when it comes to sharing your visuals and sharing that, it's got that really nice look and feel. And do you know what I really like on it? Direct messaging. If I can direct message a client or prospect or somebody who's just, engaged in my content, for me, that's brilliant for community building. That's brilliant for me because I get to learn from people and we get to have that greater connection. Like I said, with Facebook, I find the algorithm keeps changing. Some of my audience, only like 12 people might get to see it. And to me, that's like, what is the point in even posting? I did some stats actually. I posted a video on Sunday on TikTok. It's now got 1,300 views on it. No other promotion. I literally just dumped it on TikTok, didn't even use the hashtags correctly or anything like that. 1,300 views. I posted the same video on Instagram. I got 52 views. I posted the same video on Facebook. 1 view. 1 view. Yeah, so I know where I'm putting my effort in. LinkedIn, I did a similar exercise last year when I was doing all the equality and diversity work over there and the women's empowerment, and that created about 400 views per post from not a massive following, like literally 2,500, 3,000 people. So it's a really good example. I'm not really going to talk about Twitter because I kind of feel that Twitter is a different sort of space there for a different purpose. I think Facebook has its place when you want to grow a group and you want to nurture people in a group. My only thing about that is make sure they get on your list, because it's fine them being in that group, but you want to drive them to your list and make sure they're also on your list, so that if that group, if anything happens, changes with that algorithm, with who they expose stuff to, you still own that client. You know, you're not nurturing them in somebody else's ballpark, in somebody else's, like you're renting a studio or something like that. And if they go away or disappear or change the rules or up your price, then there's nothing you can do about it. I did actually see another professional who was trying to share a live, and their group members couldn't even see the live in their feed. They had to access it via a direct link that they were sent on an email because nobody could get to it any other way. It just wasn't being shown to them. It's just crazy and stuff that annoys me and irritates me about a platform, that makes me think it's out of my control. I'm not going to play ball with you. I'm going to go take my content and put it somewhere where it's going to go to good use and be used by people. It's there to serve. Pinterest is a really interesting one, but I think Pinterest should be treated a bit like YouTube and your blog and your podcast. This is like long-term evergreen content. It's going to be great when it comes to Google SEO. It's going to be fantastic to drive traffic to you long-term. Pinterest grew by 7.8% in 2020. So in that year, they got 7.8% more users, active users. Now, there's not many platforms that grow that fast. TikTok's the only other one that's growing that fast. Reddit is growing. Again, I think it's just a different use case. It's a different purpose to that platform. So hopefully that gives you some idea. The other thing to bear in mind is, where are your clients? But if you have a look at the demographics, there's a good spread of a lot of different types of clients all over the shop these days. So you could say, I think a lot of my clients are on Facebook, but are they on Facebook engaging? And are they on Instagram perhaps engaging more? And are they also checking out TikTok? They're just not engaging as much, but they're there and they'll view you and they'll see you. Because I know so many people who've got that app who do share those videos, but they don't actually consider themselves to be a TikTok user because they don't put anything on there. But all that means is they don't saturate it full of content we don't want to see, or it doesn't serve us because they're still figuring out what they do. Do I need to be on all platforms? One platform well. And as I said, the experts tell us, you've got to be thinking about this being a communication, this a two-way conversation. I think this is where I came unstuck in the beginning. It's not a billboard where I'm just going to shout something at you. This is like, hey, I want to have a conversation with you. I want to have a chat. So engage in other people's posts. Don't forget the element of being social on a social media platform. There's a new concept, isn't it? That means reply to comments, reply to direct messages, especially while you're small and growing. You can absolutely do this. Like other people's posts, add comments that add value. So in a nutshell, my social media strategy, in case you hadn't already guessed, this year I'm going all in when it comes to Instagram and TikTok. Instagram because I actually have a really good collection of masterminders on Instagram that we liaise with, direct message. We also have a WhatsApp group. So I like to support and share in their content and engage with that. And I'm going to start to put mine on there as well. When it comes to TikTok, I am going to go all in on the video TikTok because they have captions that you can add. You can use hashtags. You can tag people in it. But also, where else can I get that level of reach that if I can help 1 or 2 people? Now, literally that 1,300 viewed video on Sunday, having never been on the platform before, I have literally I think 10 followers, and I don't even know why they're following me because I hadn't put anything on there. But by Sunday I had got I think 3 email subscribers and I'd got a bunch of views, obviously the 1,300 views, and I was a nobody in that field. So just think what you can achieve after 30 days of really pushing it. The good thing about TikTok as well, the reason Gary Vee pushes it so much, it's unlike all the other platforms, which is all about who do you follow, who's your influencer. The person that's got 10 million followers, 10,000 followers, they get bumped up the list. And You kind of only see the people you know if you're connected with them or you follow with them. And that's the good thing about Instagram, is you can follow people even if they're not your friends, whereas obviously the purpose of Facebook is that you're actually a connection to them. And the same with LinkedIn, you kind of have to be a connection through somebody, but there is now a follow button to follow somebody. You just can't message and things them. So here's the thing about TikTok, it's based on interests. So I don't need to know any of these people, and they don't need to know me, and they can just be interested in what I talk about and what I share and teach and go, yep, I'll follow that lady, or I'll watch this video because it's based on my interests to do with entrepreneurship, my interest to do with lifestyle, business, women's empowerment, all that kind of stuff, which is, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's like a game changer because I'm not just restricted to who I happen to have selected. And you can control that. The algorithm, you can control that while it learns what you like. And when should I post? Well, here's what I'd say. You've got to know your audience, and you will know their daily routine. If you listen to Amy Porterfield or any of her things, she will always talk about knowing your audience so well, you know what their day looks like. For many of my clients, it's about I'm still in the hustle, I'm still working, and I'm phasing out the paid work, my 9 to 5, so that I can build up my side hustle and then leave and go full-time entrepreneur. And then when I'm a full-time entrepreneur, all of a sudden I'm sat in this space, and I've got to have motivation and accountability and drive to do things for myself. And then I've got to know what strategy, what am I doing? What should I be working on next that's going to generate some money and also some followers and make me feel purposeful? And that can be really hard. So I know at what times of day they're going to be picking up their phone and having a go at social media, or thinking, I know I'm going to procrastinate a little bit on the social side of things. Social procrastination, we should call it, when you go onto social media just to have a procrastinate. And know that and use that as your information. You will find no ends of posts that will tell you LinkedIn optimum time is to post between 10 and 11 on a Tuesday morning. So when does everybody schedule their posts? And does yours get seen? Oh no, it's painful. So just think about, when did you check in on LinkedIn? When did you check in on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook? Whatever times your audience is going to be on there, that's when you just want to post and you want to be active and engaging in their content. You want to be doing what they're doing. Okay, how long will it take to build my social media following? Oh, well, everything is different, as we know. Every medium is different. There are some stats on Instagram. They reckon if you've got less than 1,000 followers when you start, you should expect to grow 9.4%. So that's just under 100, 9.4% by the time you have passed 6 months. 9.4%. But if you're doing other things to drive your social media engagement, if you've got a podcast, a YouTube, a blog, if you've got other things where you're saying, yeah, just follow me, just follow me here, just follow me here, you mention it to everybody when you go to networking events and all of those sorts of things, you will obviously build it much faster. We're going to talk about how to speak at meetup events and all sorts of other things like that you can do, and that will help to grow your social media following. So don't think of this as short term, I need it fast. All those fast things, they're generally fake followers. What you want to do is have a loyal, raving fan base, because they're the ones that are going to buy from you. So what can you expect? Well, I think we need to be realistic on this, don't we? For everything, we start as an apprentice, and I'm here with you now saying not what worked for the gurus 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and those influencers that are doing it now and earning, crushing it, but what's actually working right now and what's going to work for the next year. That's the strategy I want to employ. So we're going to do this now for the next 30 days, and then we'll have questions like, how do we grow that following? How do we grow it faster? How do we use hashtags? How do we get captions on our videos and images and all sorts of fancy stuff that people are doing? How do I become an influencer? How do I collaborate with somebody else? And when we have all these questions, that's when we go, okay, what's working right now? So I would encourage you to either follow me on social media. I am Sue Parker. Head over to my website, sueparker.io/resources, or the link under here, and sign up to get your 30-day content plan. You can do it anytime and tag me in it, and I will still support you. We need encouragement, accountability, and we just need to hit the ground running. So I'm doing this Let's Get Visible challenge. Why don't you pick it up? Why don't you join me? And let's see if we can encourage more followers, build a following, and also start to build our client base. Take care, folks, and I'll see you again very soon.